But hello guys, this is your girl Diva Fashionista, and I'm bringing you a book review. Even though the last one didn't do that good, but here we are because I want to talk about this. I saw this man up and down my timeline on the Clock app, and one of the people I'm sub to here read an excerpt of excerpt, that's the word. He read a chapter of the book in one of his videos, and I was like, oh my gosh, it was so funny. So shout out to Alexander Rogers, because he kind of, even though I've heard of Quan Millz, he wasn't on my radar like that. It wasn't on my list of things to do was to check out his books. He made it so funny, and I don't know if it was just with Alex's comedic timing. I don't know what it was about it, but that it made it seem so interesting. So I picked up a book. I picked up a few. I don't have the one I started with. I honestly think that my sons took it. One of them was probably trying to secretly read it behind my back, because when they saw me with that first book, which I'll put on the screen, they were like, it was just so funny. They immediately started roasting. They were roasting me for days. Like, what are you doing reading this? Oh, that's crazy. You reading Quan Millz? And I wasn't in on a joke. I'm like, what's wrong with Quan Millz? Like, oh my gosh. And then my middle son tells me, my middle child, he tells me, the 10-year-old is like, his stuff is inappropriate. Why are you reading them freaky odd books? That's his words exactly. And I'm just like, it's freaky. Like, and how do you know this? So he tried to show me a video, but I was just like, no, I like to have my views to be my views. So I didn't complete the video. But yeah, so Quan has a bit of a reputation. And I have to say, even though this is going to be a bit of a negative review, I have to say I respect him. I respect his hustle. I love what he's doing, but it's just a no for me. And in full transparency, I am an aspiring author, and I minored in English in college. So some of my critiques are based on that, knowing the structure of a book, knowing how things should look. The typos were glaring. Typos and just some sentences. Now, I don't give a damn about a run-on sentence. I don't give a damn about that. But sentences were missing words. So I kind of knew what he was saying, but then it was just like, huh? Like, you left out a word or two here. So I don't know if it's the way he's cranking out the books or it's just a good editor is needed. But yeah, that bugged me. It really did. But we're going to start, like, I'm trying to make this quick as possible, book by book. I first read CNA Thoughts was the first book. After going through his catalog, I picked out CNA Thoughts as the one that spoke to me the most. And I actually liked it. Out of the 3 books I read, I liked it the most. I felt that it was well fleshed out as far as the storyline. I could see where it felt, some things did feel rushed, like maybe he was going in one direction and then changed his mind. And as an author, you're going to do that. So maybe your original idea for a book just didn't work out as you're fleshing it out. But it's like, what I didn't like for it to be, I dropped my name, CNA Thoughts. There wasn't enough CNA's thoughting and bopping for me. I thought that the book was going to be about maybe a group of homegirls that got together and decided that they were going to make their ends and do a little bit more than just meet, and they were just going to be thoughting and bopping. And that's not what happened. It was just like one girl thoughting, and she didn't even really want to do it. So think more of the storyline of like Players Club. It was kind of like that. Like, you know, Ronnie just kind of was persuading them to do it. And it was just like, okay. But I did like it. I did like that book. So that one I couldn't really like put down. So at the end of that, I was like, oh, okay, let me get something else. Got through that, liked it. Definitely will recommend that book. So I'm like, hey, let me read something else. So the second book I picked up was this guy. My Baby Mama is a Loser. Now, I took this to work with me, and my co-workers were roasting me too. They thought this was so funny, and I think that someone pointed out on the Clock app, like, how does he pick his titles? Does he pick the titles and write a book around it, or does it go, he writes a book and then picks the title? I don't know. I can't speak to that, but I feel like the titles are meant to be very salacious and very attention grabbing, which they are. The book don't necessarily follow the title as much. But that's a small critique. That's small critique. Was his baby mama a loser? Maybe, yeah. But so was he. So that was my biggest critique of this, is that, going back to CNA thoughts, I could tell that book was written in first person, and in the edit it was switched over to the third person. And the reason why I could tell that it was even just the nature of the book, like how it was flowing, I could tell. But some of it was still left in there. So again, good editor needed. Some of it was still like and I'm like, if you don't know, first person is where it's told from the perspective of the main character, and they're narrating the story. So you'll hear, I went to the store, I picked up the book, I saw him and he was so handsome. Third person is where a lot of books are written in third person, where it's the author is the narrator, or an eye in the sky is kind of narrating the story, and they're saying Sally went to the store and Sally picked up the book. That type of thing, you get my drift? These other books subsequently, and I'm guessing most of his books are written in first person. This one was, and it switches back and forth between the main protagonist, which is Dre, and his baby mama, who I can't even think of her name right now, and it doesn't really matter. It switches back and forth, and I really like that. I like that about the book. And again, this book is pretty thick, substantial, just like the first one, so it really told a good story. But I hated Dre, and I get that some stories are cautionary tales. You're not meant to come out on top in every story, but this book for me reeked of misogyny. To me, I just kept reading, waiting for Dre to get his, and Dre never gets his. The baby mama just winds up in just such a bad situation. And are we meant to dislike the baby mama from the beginning? Yeah, I did dislike her from the beginning, but she had somewhat of a redemption arc. She was trying. At no point was Dre trying to be a better person. And then they were doing some of the same things. So her flaws were his flaws. So why does he get to ride off into the sunset at the end, and she's just fucked up, raggedy, shitting on herself? That was, to me, was just like, it was so disappointing. And I was just like, this is not good. Like, I didn't find it good. And I get, life isn't peaches and cream. Sometimes as an author, you're going to write a cautionary tale. Taking it back to like Coldest Winter Ever, which is the other book review I did. That book ends and you're supposed to learn a lesson from it. And you're rooting for her the whole time, but at the end it's like, okay, don't be like her. And I get it. I did read the second the sequel to that book about her sister, which is like A Greater Love, Deeper Love, I don't know. I read it though. And that one has a happy ending. And I like, even though I like both books, and the first one is the classic, the one that everyone will defer to, we're humans, and you want to read to be entertained, to pass time, most of all to be entertained. And you're reading a book and you're rooting for this character. You're wrapped up in their life, and you want to see, if not a fairy tale ending, you want to see things work out for them. And the fact that it just ended so badly for the baby mama, I didn't like it, because I'm just like, maybe she don't get the fairy tale ending, but damn, she couldn't get in a little 1-bedroom apartment, little job, just 2 supervised weekends with her daughter, even if it's at the precinct. Like, she really just had to end the book being just totally messed up, even though they were cut from the same cloth. Didn't like that book. Don't recommend it. So then off to the one that started this, which was the book that Alex was reading. And I ain't gonna say this. I don't know if I could say this, but this is kind of vulgar. Y'all see it. This is a pamphlet. This is not a novel. This is a pamphlet. When I received it in the mail, I was so disappointed, because it's so thin. And I was like, oh my gosh, did I just spend $11 on this like pamphlet? Money going. I ordered it, and I read the first chapter when I got it, and I immediately put the book down because I hated it. It took me maybe a month to that's how long I've had these books, y'all. It took me about another month to actually pick it back up and just try to soldier through it. I did not like this book, and I'm gonna say why I did not like this book. It made me think that Quan either he doesn't have a good grasp of the legal system, or he just doesn't think that his readers have a good grasp of the legal system. But the way this book starts out, it's totally unbelievable, not realistic. It's just like, how the girl gonna walk in and walk out with a whole case? Like within 48 hours, she got a case. She got on some trumped up charges, and then she's just been railroaded. And then maybe they just are railroading people in Chirac. I don't know. I'm not from Chicago, which all these books are set in Chicago. I'm not from there, so I don't know. But I can say that's not realistic. Like, you're not going to go to trial. You're not going to try to fight this. You didn't do what you're being accused of. Kind of did it, but not really. And then now you're just going to go to jail. I just didn't think it. And it was like, for me, more misogyny. Because I'm just like, this character, the protagonist, just winds up, just goes through crap the whole book and just winds up in a shitty predicament. Again, that's not what I want from my literature. I want some type of hope. It's fiction. Literally, I get, again, life is not peaches and cream, but it's fiction. You literally can do anything. If you can write a book where the baby father is an alien, is something is I saw a book cover with a raptor. If these nonsensical things can happen, you can write a book where someone does something bad, but they learn their lesson and they do better, so they receive better at the end. Give us something inspirational. Like, this was not inspirational for me at all. I just didn't like. I just thought this one was kind of trash. Funny, a little bit funny. The premise was funny, but like, even just the what the book was supposed to be about, a pastor who's now running for office, we didn't even get that. Like, what is going on here? Didn't like it, so it's gonna be a no for me. But I will say, I just definitely think that Quan is inspirational. I see that he wants to get into movie making, and definitely don't Tyler Perry it. Get co-writers, get people, good editors, people with a good literary eye who can help you flesh out your ideas, who can make it make sense. Good people in legal that can say, hey, you're not going to walk out with a signed plea deal within 48 hours of being arrested. Like, that's just not, that ain't how that work. Yeah, things take time and things have to be done within legalities, right? So yeah, I hear he signed something with Tubi, and I actually look forward to seeing the movie. I actually look forward to see what he can do on the silver screen or the small screen. Whatever, guys. I gotta go. Tell me your thoughts on Quan Millz. Tell me what you thought. Have you read any books? Are you interested in reading any books? Tell me your favorite authors. Let me know what I should read next. I'm here for it. Thank you so much for watching. Do all the things. Thumbs up, like, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Later.